Good day, everyone. Welcome to today's virtual lesson plan on the teaching techniques. I am Rosan Gapad, one of your instructors for this session. I hope you are all ready to dive into some exciting learning. So today, we will learn about some techniques in teaching. One of these was about the technique which was to teach students key baseline behaviors for learning, such as sitting up in class and tracking the speaker by using a memorable acronym such as what we call the STAR or the SLANT. This would also help teachers to gauge if students are attentive, really interested, and understand the lesson being taught to them. Sitting slouch, fidgeting, and dawdling are sure signs that the student is inattentive. This adversely affects the process of learning. So, to continue with our discussion, may you let me read first our objectives for today's lesson. So, at the end of this lesson, the students are able to understand what the slant or star means. They would also be able to understand and apply the slant or the star technique to improve their classroom engagement, and the students will demonstrate active listening, appropriate posture, and respectful participation using strategies like sitting up, leaning forward, asking questions, and nodding to show understanding. So, as it was said earlier, to memorize these techniques and to apply it easily, it is better to write it through an acronym. So let's start. In the acronym STAR, this means S is for sit up, T is to track the speaker, A is to ask and answer like a scholar, and R is to respect those who are around you. Next is the SLANT. For this acronym, the letter S stands for sit up, L for lean forward, A for the ask and answer, N for the nodding your head, and T for the track the speaker. So, to explain further, let us learn what this letter sit up means. So, sit up. In order to develop attentive listeners, it is essential to encourage students to sit up straight, lean their back against the seat, feet placed firmly on the ground, and hands on the table. This is the optimal position to ensure good learning and processing of information. So, isn't it, if we remember, in our elementary days, our teachers are always encouraging us to do this posture. What are they saying to us? Sit properly, like those. Why? It is for us to absorb and understand our lesson, and it would help us to put in mind our lesson. So, there. Next is the lean forward. Students should be taught to lean forward during a lesson. It may also help teachers understand the interest level of the class and fine-tune the presentation to make it more interesting for their students. So this is like sit up and where you must be on the proper posture if you are on a class. Do not do extra movements or any extra activities in your seat. Just sit and listen attentively to your teacher. It is to show that you are really interested to the presentation or to your teacher who is teaching. So there. Next is the ask and answer. This component can liven up the classroom and encourage students to be active in the learning process. So actually asking questions is not bad. or it is not being it is not in Filipino hindi to bawal. No, it is not forbidden to ask questions inside a classroom. So there. Actually, asking questions is a big help to our students for them to understand more on the lesson. Actually, this is a good indicator to the teacher that a student is listening. If something, if something, if something was in his mind or her mind, that is that she or he is being curious about the lesson. So there. Next is nodding your head. Nodding one's head is a form of nonverbal communication to indicate that the lesson has been understood. When a teacher observes a student nodding his or her head, they may proceed with the lesson. So, there. Isn't it that when our parents are instructing us to do something, we are nodding our head? Why? It is it is an indicator. It is to indicate that we understand what our parents are instructing us. We are not nodding our heads when we don't understand what she or he is saying, isn't it? So, there. It is like in a class. If you nod your head on what your teacher is saying, it means you understand what she says or taught. Okay, so this means that your teacher may move on or proceed with the lesson. Okay, so lastly, this is to track the speaker. The attention span of every student is different. Tracking the speaker is a visual cue to be attentive. Students should be encouraged to track both the teacher and other students who are presenting in class. So there, this doesn't mean that you must look at the presenter or the teacher in the entire session. But this doesn't also mean that you can do extra movements or extra activities in your seat. You must still be listening. Okay? Understood? Okay. So, for example, when our teachers are giving us a topic and we are required to report it in front of the class, what do you usually do? Or what do she usually says? Isn't it that she says that you listen carefully to what they are saying and reporting? Okay. Not because you are not the one who is reporting, then you can do extra movements. You must pay attention to your co-class to your fellow classmates when he or she is talking. So there. Actually, this is also to show our respect to the ones who are reporting. Imagine if you are the reporter, then your classmates are talking and talking and talking in their chairs. Actually, this is not good to see. Okay, there. Now, let's test your understanding. Let's test your understanding with a few quick evaluation questions. I'll ask the question, and I want you to pause the video to think about your answer. Are you ready? Here's the first question. Okay, this is the optimal position to ensure good learning and processing of information. Okay, so you may pause this video now and think about your answer for 5 seconds. Okay, very good. You got up the correct answer. The answer is sit up. Okay, next question. This is to enhance learning and student performance by creating a behavior incorporating the conscious use of positive body language. So what is this? Okay, you may pause this video for 5 seconds again to think of your answer. Okay, very good. You got the correct answer. The answer is SLANT strategy. So next question. This is a form of nonverbal communication to indicate that the lesson has been understood. Okay, you may pause this video again for 5 seconds to think of your answer. Okay, very good. The answer is nodding your head. So last question. Same through with sit up. What was this aspect that helps the student understand or can catch up the information taught by the teacher? So what's the answer? Okay, you may think this. You may pause this video for 5 seconds to think for your answer. Okay, very good. The answer is leaning forward. So last question. It encourages students to be more active in their learning process. You may pause again this video for 5 seconds to think for your answer. Okay, the answer is asking and answering questions. Very good. So, to recap with our lesson for today, what does slant mean again? For the letter S is to sit up. For the letter S and letter L, to lean forward. For the letter A is to ask and answer the questions. And for the letter N, nod your head. And for the letter T, track the speaker. So what again is the importance of this? SLANT is this was to enhance learning and student performance by creating a behavior incorporating the conscious use of positive body language. Actually, this is a simple technique to encourage and remind students on being attentive and active in class. So, that's all for today. Thank you and God bless.